Russian, United Russian, United Nations, United Nations, United Nations, United Nations, United Nations,
Russian, United Nations, United Nations, United Nations, Russian, United Nations, Russian,
United Nations, Russia, Russia, Russian, Russia, Russia, Russian. Russian, Russia, United Nations, United Nations, Russian, United Nations, United Nations, United Nations, United Nations, Russia, United Nations, Russia,
Russian, the United Nations, Russian, United Nations, United Nations, Russian, United Nations,
Russia nations. United Russian nations. Russian United Nations.
Russia United Nations. Russia United Nations. Russian
United
Russia United Nations. Russia United Nations. United Nations. United Nations.
United Nations. Russian United Nations. United Nations. United Nations.
Russia,
United Nations. Russian
nations. Russia. United Nations.
United Nations. Russia.
United Nations. United Nations. Russia. United Nations.
Russia. United Nations. Russia. United Nations. United Nations.
Russia.
Nation.
Russia.
United Nations. Russia.
Russian nations. Russian United Nations. Russian United Nations. Russian
United Nations. Russia. United Nations. Russia. United Nations.
Russian United Nations. United Nations. Russian United Nations. Russian United Nations. Russian United Nations. United.